All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the daily broadcast. We're coming to you from the Arctic Air Studios. The air wasn't quite as hot as it was yesterday in West Texas today, but it was still pretty hot. And if your AC is struggling, you need to call the bear, callthebear.com. We are comfortable in the Arctic Air Studios this evening. All the communications brought to you by Market Street United Supermarkets, whether you're on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, doesn't matter. They're going to get you set up. Great supporters of Texas Tech. And if you're looking for great Western wear, and we mentioned it yesterday on the show, 20% off all long sleeve shirts right now at Boot City. They provide all the Western wear we wear. Western wear we wear on the show? Yeah, they do. All right, so we got Texas Tech baseball tonight. Maybe the last time for a long time against Texas in the foreseeable future. It's going to be Kyle Robinson getting the start. We'll talk about the implications of that here in just a minute. So we have baseball to talk about. We've got a little bit of the football. We didn't talk about Baron Morton going to the specialist for the shoulder. So I don't want to leave any Tech football this time of year because here in a couple of days it's going to be all about football. We'll get into that. I'll give you my thoughts on what I think we're seeing on that front, and then the end of high school basketball and baseball in the state of Texas and otherwise. If you look at the recruit list for Texas Tech basketball, the commits, not a single one played at a high school. All right, all that stuff and more brought to you by Golf USA. Stacy Nix, great Red Raider, great golfer. They're at 66 and Indiana. Hey, go in right now. I know we're just now hitting the summer months. You're probably playing with the wrong clubs. Now, what do I mean by that? They don't fit you. It's not the clubs. The clubs are great. They don't fit you. The shaft length is wrong. The grips are wrong. The flex is wrong. You just went and you went out and spent a bunch of money on golf clubs, and they're horrible for you. Don't let that happen to you. Go to Golf USA, check it out. They'll help you out. Now, am I saying they're going to probably try to sell you some different clubs or maybe do a little modification? Absolutely yes. If you're going to go out and spend a bunch of money and time, you might as well play with golf clubs that actually will allow you to play good golf. They'll take care of you. South Plains College, great supporters of what we do here in Raiderland. Dane Dubry and his people over there, awesome. Love it. He gives us the great sunrise picture we use on the hot links in the morning on the website. So, yeah, shout out there. Hey, summer classes are enrolling. Summer school, whether you are a current student or you just want to take advantage of some of the cool classes like culinary classes and everything else, CE, whatever, you need to give them a holler. Look at the website. Go to South Plains College. Let's do it in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. Welcome to the daily broadcast. We are glad to be here with you tonight. Want to get your comments, your questions, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or otherwise. United Supermarkets is going to do that. Let's talk Tech and Texas baseball tonight. Kyle Robinson will get the start. So why do they change it up? Why do you go with Kyle Robinson tonight as opposed to Ryan Free, who had been getting the Friday night start in Big 12 play? Well, it's pretty simple. And indeed, Damon, who's jumping in on YouTube, the talking box is on. There is no tomorrow. So who's been your best pitcher? Who's been your bulldog? Who's been your guy? Now, when he pitched against Texas earlier this year in Lubbock, and that was basically a season ago, it was bad, it was cold, it was windy, whatever. Climate controlled tonight. And one of the best outings Robinson ever had in his life was down at Minute Maid his freshman year when he went 6 scoreless. I believe it was 6 scoreless, maybe 1 run against the Aggies in relief in an extra inning game. All right, so that said, you got to throw him out there, right? You don't have to. And we discussed the options that you have last night on the broadcast. So Tim Tadlock, Matt Gardner, and the coaching staff said, all right, let's go with our guy tonight. Why do you do that? Well, it's because you know if you lose tonight, there's no way in hell you're going to come back through the loser's bracket, right? You got to be all in to a point tonight. And you may be all in tonight that nothing else matters, that this staff may believe that there is no way in hell You can come through the losers bracket and win this thing. So you do everything you can tonight. You throw the kitchen sink at them, pitching wise. Everybody you've got that can get it out that's quality and give you a shot until, say, you're down 6 or 7 runs, and then you just got to say, F it, whatever. We'll see. I'm not surprised by the decision to go with Robinson. Not at all. I think it does tacitly, and more than tacitly, though, tell you where they think they are, that there's just no way in hell, if you don't win tonight, that you're coming through this thing. Now, there would be people saying, well, why haven't you pitched Robinson on Friday night all year long? All right, the thinking for many teams in college baseball, right, wrong, or otherwise, is these days you take your number one, unless it's just a drop hammer guy, but you take your number one and you pitch him on Saturday because you're trying to say, our Friday night guy gave us a chance. We're going to win the series today with our best guy. We're going to be 2-0. Or we lost on Friday. We're going to pitch our best guy. We're 1-1. We'll go win it on Sunday. That's why we've seen a change in that. Back in the olden days, Texas Tech in the late 80s and early 90s and Southwest Conference play, there were a lot of teams that would pitch it backwards. Larry Hayes would not do that. So what you would have is you had a Friday night game, 9-inning game, then you had a Saturday 7-inning game, and then a doubleheader on Saturday with a 9-inning after that. There were some teams that would pitch it backwards, and by that we'd say they if you weren't a great team, you'd throw somebody out on Friday night, get them killed, throw your best guy on Saturday thinking he might be able to go 7 innings, get you a win, and then figure it out in the next game. Larry Hayes refused to do that. He refused to do that. He always put his best guy out Friday night. Mark Brandenburg, Travis Driscoll, different guys at different times. So, a little history for you. Chris says, pitching, waha, waha, waha. How about hitting, Chris? Give me the same thing on hitting, because hitting has sucked this year. Chris is one of those guys who I think wants Matt Gardner fired, and that's fine if you want him fired as a pitching coach. But then fire everybody who's in charge of hitting too, because hitting has sucked this year. Oh, and fielding as well. So if you want to make that claim, that's fine. But actually just go ahead and say, fire Tadlock if you want to. Because if you think Matt Gardner is not doing anything that Tim Tadlock wants him to do, if you think Matt Gardner is not issuing anything that Tim Tadlock doesn't want done and hasn't wanted done for many years, you'd be wrong. So when we do that, I would have much more respect for the people who just say, I want to fire Tim Tadlock. We haven't been to the College World Series since 2019. The 2020 team got derailed, but we don't care. Been to the Super Regionals since then. First year since 2015, hadn't made the tournament. All that is just, I would have much more respect for those people that would just say, fire Tim Tadlock, if that's what you want. But I think a lot of people are afraid to say that, so they say, fire Matt Gardner. But they're not astute enough baseball observers to say, well, then fire every hitting coach. I get it. I understand. I've been around this game a long time. That's cool. All right, so it's going to be Robinson tonight. We'll see what happens. It's all on the offense. You don't get through this tournament as a 10 seed with pitching. You get through it by bashing your way, by scoring 10, 11, 12 runs a game. Now, so far today, the Park has done what it usually does, and it's not a great offensive park. Kansas upset Kansas State 2-1. Earlier today, we have a final. It's ECU upsetting West Virginia 5-2. So 7-3. That's 10 runs, 4 teams, 2 games. UCF 5-1 over Cincinnati. And you get the loser of that game if you lose tonight. If you win, you're playing Oklahoma State. So it's not a park that just surrenders a ton of runs at any stretch. If you want to get in on the conversation, you want to jump in, you want to talk Tech baseball, you want to talk about the demise of high school, baseball and basketball. You want to talk tech football? Baron Morton, specialist, shoulder. Should we be concerned? All those things you can do. Thanks to United Supermarkets and Market Street. They'll get you in tonight. All that happening. And our friends at Boot City, if you want some great Western wear. I need to send my son out there. He's wearing a straw hat. Bless his heart. We got to get a new hat. All right. So all those things going on tonight here on the broadcast, whatever it may be. But yeah, the park's not giving up a lot of runs. Normally doesn't. So you got to hit. But everybody will focus on the pitching, and probably because they'll give up like 10 runs tonight. But the only way you get through this is by doing what Tech hasn't done this year, which is great situational hitting, putting up crooked numbers, and being a good offense. It's not been a good offense at all at any time when it matters. And it probably ain't going to change this weekend. So when it's over, by the way, we will have Diamond Talk. Not tonight, probably tomorrow if it's the early game. But we'll have a season-ending Diamond Talk brought to you by Thacker Jewelry. And we'll discuss what needs to happen from here. And I feel bad because when people, like Chris jump in and say, pitching, I feel like I'm beating up on you. No, I get it. I understand it. You just got to understand where I'm coming from 30 years plus of experience on this. All right, let's go football for a little bit. Baron Morton, Don Williams, the AJ, I believe, reporting over the weekend that he went out to, where was it, Arizona? No, Alabama, something like that, getting the shoulder looked at. At what point do you go injury prone? At what point do you go, we got a situation that may not improve? Now is when you look at that and you go, okay, what do you got behind that? Because you haven't had a quarterback be healthy to start every game since Nick Shimonek the year after Patrick Mahomes. And he didn't start every game. Remember, they started, what was it, Clayton Carter? Was it McClain Carter? Against Texas, and Shimonek told Cliff, if you want to live, put me in the game. And he did, and they lived. So, yeah, anyways, you normally are going to have to play multiple quarterbacks. Are we a little bit worried about Morton at this point? Yeah, I kind of am. That he has been hit. He's been beat up a little bit. He's not a huge guy. He's not a small guy. He's not a huge guy. So we see the story come out this weekend. Hey, yeah, we're going to go out there. They're going to take a look at it. We're going to go from there. All right. Color me cynical if I say you probably, well, we'll see what happens. Does it make me downgrade where Texas Tech is going into the fall? Yeah, a little bit. We're sitting here going into June and you're shipping off your quarterback and doing that. It does make me take a little bit of pause on Texas Tech and say, all right, you look at the schedule, and the schedule's great. You're missing a couple of the top contenders in the Big 12, Utah, Utah and Kansas State. But the guy that you want to be quarterback is still, we don't know. Yeah, it gives me pause. And that's why I say when you do season predictions, when you do win predictions, if you go make a bet at the window on an over-under, 7.5 wins, 8.5, whatever, and you do that this time of year, do you really have all the information you need to have to make a value judgment on a team? No, you do not. Not until they roll in August. Not until they've had about a week or two of practice. Not until they put on what we used to call the football playing britches. I don't care what they do in helmets and T-shirts and shorts. Put on the football playing britches. Call me, and then we'll talk about a football team. But right now, that ain't it for Texas Tech. So I'm on a big hold right now on where I am valuing this team. A big hold. I want to see what the offensive line looks like. I want to see which quarterback is healthy. Oh, but there's, a lot of talent behind it. A lot of young talent. Call me. You know who was young talent a couple of years ago? Behren Morton. And then we did the commentary today. Thank you for watching. 60 seconds of Raiderland. Hopefully you guys are getting that. Hopefully you guys are checking it out. It's more than 60 seconds. We had a radio station wanting us to do that. I said, all right, we'll do it in 60 seconds. And then they bailed on us. And I'm like, well, screw that. I don't have to do it in 60. Now I can do a minute, 2 minutes, whatever. The end of high school basketball and baseball in Texas. By the way, if you want to get in your comments, questions, thoughts, or otherwise, it's easy to do thanks to United Supermarkets. Whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or otherwise, jump in, hit your comments, get them in there here on our little broadcast system, thanks to StreamYard. Third-party streaming apparatus, they make it happen. So hopefully you got that. We're getting a super regional this weekend in Lubbock with LSU and Angelo, says Chris. Indeed. They go off to North Carolina, Cary, North Carolina. It's the home of USA Baseball, like the developmental center. Remember a couple of years ago when Josh Young was on the national team, they played some games out there. That's where they go if they beat Angelo State. That would be awesome. Nathan Blackwood, who's won an NAIA World Series title, got a chance to go play for a NCAA title. Not many people have done that. So I posited the question, and we've talked about this before. You guys have seen this, the rise of club teams, travel teams, everything in youth sports, basketball and baseball. Well, we're getting more and more at the high school level, and it's going to be basketball first, and we're already seeing it. The demise of the high school basketball program, where more and more colleges are not going to be signing kids who played high school basketball. They don't want them. They want them who went to the academy, the prep school, the IMG, the school that allowed them to play nothing but basketball. And, oh, yeah, you got to go to school. Oh, yeah, okay, you went to school. Check that. Basketball is ahead of that right now than baseball. But you look at Tech in the sign this year, in the, quote, freshmen, not a single one of them have played their last year at a high school. It's academies, it's preps. 100% preps. We're going to see it in baseball as well. It's going to take a little longer, but here within the next 5-10 years, all these kids that have grown up and the parents that have invested in travel baseball are not going to entrust them to high school baseball teams where you've got to adhere to different policies. They're just going to say, let's go to an academy. Let's keep on playing. Pay for play. Let's do it. And we're going to get our college scholarship that way. And it's an equivalency scholarship. And we're only going to get like 1/7 of the scholarship. But we spent $200,000 over the last 10 years doing this. By God, we're going to get a $5,000 scholarship. It's going to be great. Wait for it. It's already happening. So the death of high school basketball and baseball in Texas is really what we've already seen in Little League Baseball. Little League Baseball got cannibalized by travel. It still exists, but do the best kids play Little League Baseball now? No, I don't. Nothing against it. Don't anybody take that wrong. I love Little League Baseball. Don't anybody take what I'm saying as a knock against Little League. I think it's great. I think it's where your kids should play. I think you should play a limited schedule in the spring when he's 10, 11, and 12 years old. I don't think you should worry about spin rate. I don't think you should worry about sliders or curves. I think you got to play baseball and have fun. When he turns 13, 14, 15, we can change it. I don't give a damn whether you like that or not. But the reality is what's going on there is what will happen in high school with baseball and basketball. Let's see, Michael. So are you saying there's a chance Coach Prime could come to Lubbock and make their game a close one? I have no idea what you're talking about. You see it also with the rise of club volleyball and soccer too. Yeah, Chris, I mean, Dad inherited the Coronado soccer program in 1984. He didn't know a damn thing about it, 84, 85. But he coached the hell out of it, won about 10 city championships, advanced to the state semifinals and everything else. He learned how to coach it because he was coaching. But the reality was, even in the 80s and 90s, club soccer was dominating, and certainly the UIL soccer regulations were different then. But club soccer was dominating. Even today, club soccer dominates UIL. You play your club, you play your club team, you play your FC, whatever, you play your developmental, and the high school is on down the list. Baseball, basketball is coming. You shouldn't have high schoolers needing Tommy John surgery, no, but you do. And it's because of what happens when they are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, that they get sport specific and that they throw too many innings. And again, a lot of parents don't want to hear it because we got to do this. Otherwise, he can't play high school. If we don't focus and specialize, the coach ain't going to do it. All right. Okay. Well, do what you do. Do what you do. You and your family, your kid. Select baseball, says Chris, at $5,000 a year for 10 years, $50,000 with a hope of a partial scholarship. Invest money, pay for 4 years. Select a major. Rip off for most. Yeah, 100%. But most of it's coming from the parents and not from the kid. But then they say the kid loves it so much, we got to do it. We got to do it for a kid to love a kid. The only chance I got to give it to it. No, it's not the only chance you got. And it's really, for a lot of them, it's get up the chance you got. And what do you know, Hyatt? Your kid played football at a small West Texas school. What do you know? Your dad was only a high school coach for 40 years. What do you know? I don't know. I don't know anything. But I can tell you that high school basketball and high school baseball in Texas in 5 to 10 years will be denigrated completely. We're already seeing it. I'm talking about the top level. I'm talking about players not playing it. And it will become what Little League Baseball is to Travel League. Now, here's the good news. For the kids who love basketball, who love playing baseball, you got a better chance now at the high school level. You get to play. Have fun. They're still going to offer it. They're still going to do it. You can still play and you can have fun. And you can sit there as a parent and say, you know what? My kid can play, and we know he's not going to go play college baseball or pro baseball or anything else. But look at that. He gets to have fun and play high school baseball. And the other kids, the other parents can go do their thing. And good luck to you. Let's see how it happens. Well, you just don't understand what it takes. You're right. We talked about Behren Morton. We talked about the Big 12 upsets earlier today. Do we have anything on the latest game before Texas Tech? We're bottom of the 7th. I don't think that is updated. I want an update on UCF and Cincinnati. Tech will get the loser of that one. 5-1, looking like maybe Cincinnati top of the 8th. No, pardon, UCF 5-1. So looking like you could get Cincinnati. You did not play them this year. In a loser go home game tomorrow at 4:30. Hold on. You're saying that Tech's going to lose? Yeah. Yeah, Tech's probably going to lose tonight. Allen on, what are you on? Facebook? No, YouTube. Back to being a pure sport. It was never a pure sport. There is no such thing as a pure sport. Let's not engage in that discussion anymore in 2024. There is no pure sport. All right? There is no pure sport. Collier, did Tech lose already? Yeah, pretty much. For the last month and a half. I don't know. Unless you said something different on your little radio show today. With shout out David Collier and Rob Bro. They're on the score 100. Hell, I screw this up every time. 100.7. I always want to say 107.7. 100.7. They were on together today. My man Rob finally got somebody good to work with on radio. So yeah, Tech's probably going to lose tonight. Even though they're going with Robinson, Here's what's going to happen. Such an ass. Robinson will pitch his guts out for 5 1/3, 5 2/3, maybe to the 6th. They'll run his arm out. He'll throw about 115 to 122 pitches tonight because if you don't win, he's not throwing again this year. And if you do win, he's not throwing again in the tournament. So you're going to ride that horse all the way you can. So maybe that gets you to the 5th inning, early 6th. It could be about maybe 6 to 5, 5 to 6, 5 to 4, something like that. Either team. Then the bullpen shows up. Thanks for playing. And it gets ugly. You can only throw Trendon Parrish tonight one time, Sanders one time, and then, yeah. Pleasure to work with Russell Crowe today. That's funny. He does have. Can we have a conversation, a private conversation between myself and David Collier right now? I'm not a TV guy, as you can tell. I've been on TV numerous times over the decades, hosted numerous coaches shows on TV, appeared on KMAC 28 with David Collier. I'm not a TV guy by any stretch of the imagination. But, and while David Collier has really amazingly good hair for a man his age, Collier's hair is really well coiffed. I mean, it's, not Brian Mudd, it's nice. But Bro has this flowing mane. Rob has this flowing mane of hair that kind of massages itself around his noggin. And he's got a big-ass noggin. He's a big guy, offensive line. But it's almost like a weather center, that it starts over here and goes over here, and it kind of does this and that. It's impressive as hell. And I was watching you guys there on the feed today. I'm like going, what the hell do I have to do to get hair like that? I guess I got to be younger. Pleasure work with Russell Crowe, he says. All right, we're about out of time, and that's my way of saying, hey, I got to get this produced up and get it ready to go and watch a little baseball tonight. Do we have starting lineups, by the way, Collier? I'm kind of limited when I do this. I'm afraid if I hit the wrong button, I end the broadcast. Do we have starting lineups or anything interesting for Texas Tech and Texas? He had, by the way, Collier, not that Collier, but Collier on Twitter had last time Texas Tech beat Texas there in the Big 12 tournament. I was there the first time they did it. It's happened twice. Jeez, really? I remember when the tournament mattered. Get rid of the tournament. Get rid of the Big 12 tournament. Get rid of it going forward. Don't do it. Play an in-season tournament. Be great. Play it in March. An in-season tournament. Play the teams you're not going to play in the regular season, and then play the last regular season games this weekend. It's not hard to do. Currently at United Supermarkets, everybody, where David Collier is in the produce section. Go by and say, hey, I like your rutabagas. Those are really nice. They don't look as large on TV as they are in your cart. Nice rutabagas. Everybody say hi to David Collier there. I don't believe you. I do not believe you. I don't think you can post pictures on this thing. I do not believe you're at United. Really don't. All right. We'll see what happens tonight with baseball. I hope I'm wrong. I truly do. I don't want anybody to get the idea I'm rooting for Tech to lose. Anybody who knows me knows that's not what I want for baseball at all, for any of this thing. I just see where it is. It'd be awesome if they won tonight and you try to figure it out. It would be cool to see what happens from here. I would love for these guys to start putting down tape for other employers and other schools going forward. I hadn't seen anything that makes me believe that's going to happen, but I'd love for it to happen. And I would love for this game to be played anywhere other than Globe Life. and be in Oklahoma City. At least they'd have a cool environment. Well, they're playing in Major League Park. They don't care. Play up there, you get 7,000 people. It's great. Play down there, you get 7,000 people. Hey, the Brewers are in town. Yeah, you get the idea. Tomorrow, Wednesday, overrated, underrated, rated right Wednesday. We get 3 things to sound off on the website, theraiderland.com in the morning. Raiderland hot links. Oh, cool stuff we find all around the internet. We amalgamate it together. That means for those of you in Friona, we put it together in a small area on the website, and you just wake up and you go, oh, that's cool. That's neat. I need to check on that. That's awesome. Yeah, we do that. Then whatever else is going on. We'll see. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight on the broadcast. You guys are the best. I want to thank all of our sponsors, South Plains College. The road to Raiderland begins in Levelland. A lot of great Red Raiders started off as great Texans. Also by Golf USA. Stacy Nicks, you guys know the drill. Go there. Tell them we said hey. United Supermarkets, all the conversation brought to you by them. And of course, our Western wear provider, Boot City, 1 money 7 mile outside the West Loop. I hit the button that says in stream, which sounds really painful for a man my age.